Tonight on Newsbeat, LSU denies recent drug on university drug use.
A push to make campus housing more inclusive.
And the gymnastics team is celebrating their historic win with some chicken.
All that and more. Newsbeat starts right now.
Good evening, Tigers, and welcome to Tuesday Newsbeat. I'm Erin Rogers.
And I'm Georgia Peck. Thanks for joining us. There has been some pushback from school officials at LSU after we reported on a study about drug use on campus. They argue there is not a problem, but findings from the report conducted by student researchers says otherwise.
Now we've got senior reporter Nicole Marino in the studio with us with new details about this situation. Nicole, what can you tell us?
Erin, this past week, I've gathered data from the district attorney's office and collected email threads and conversations I had with LSU administrators. And buckle up because there is a lot to unpack here.
An LSU study exposed high drug use on campus. And now LSU claims the university doesn't have a drug problem and researchers used faulty data. Riley Young, one of the student researchers, is at a loss for words.
I think holistically, I don't know how anybody could arrive at the position that LSU doesn't have a drug problem. We know with the death of Eli Thomas this past semester that students' lives are at risk from fentanyl.
A zip code that includes much of campus and runs north to downtown had a dramatic increase in overdose deaths, with 34 in 2022, which is more than double the previous year. Another researcher, Rachel Wong, says students' lives are at risk and always have been.
And the fact that there isn't an expected crisis when there are students who have passed away, whether it be on or off campus, I think it's still important because these are still Tigers.
Todd Woodward, LSU's vice president for marketing and communications, criticized the study after it got news coverage. LSU does not have an fentanyl, heroin, or overdose problem on campus, Woodward wrote in an email. But after that, the university sent out this email about opioid awareness to students who live in dorms or campus apartments. Professor Bob Mann, whose students conducted the research, says LSU has a reputation for trying to sweep things under the rug.
It reminds me of very much the way the LSU dealt with the rape and sexual abuse allegations a few years ago. They denied it, they covered it up, and then when they couldn't do that anymore because it exploded in the press, they had to deal with it, but it was too late and a lot of lives were wrecked.
Wong said student interest in Narcan was even higher than expected.
We have people texting us on our social medias and things like that, like where can I get this Narcan? Like, I didn't realize you guys are handing this out. Like, this is actually so amazing.
Mann said the students' work and motivation are solid.
They love this place and they are concerned about the well-being of students in a way that I'm afraid some administrators aren't. So I'm really proud of them for speaking truth to power.
We reached out to LSU's communication team following the professor's feedback, the announcement that Narcan training would be available on campus, but we have yet to receive a response as of news time. Nicole Marino, Tiger TV News.
Thank you, Nicole. And student government passed a bill pushing for more housing options for transgender and non-binary students. But the bill is causing a lot of debate online from both students and parents. I spoke with university staff and student leaders as they push for more inclusive housing options.
This is that it's entirely opt-in. There's no instance in which students would be housed with individuals they're not comfortable living with.
Members of the LSU LGBTQ+ caucus want to add 5 questions to the current housing survey. The questions would ask if students are comfortable or not comfortable living with transgender or non-binary students. Annie Sheehan Dean says that there's been a lot of misinformation around the bill.
For example, like a cisgender woman would be placed with a transgender woman if she's not comfortable living with a trans woman. Like that simply wouldn't happen. That's not a part of the proposal that we're initiating.
LSU college Republicans have been vocal opponents of the plan. In a statement, they told us in part, while the plan claims to only let transgender students room with students that would be comfortable with it, it does not account for the fact that many LSU dorms use hall-style bathrooms. The LSU LGBTQ+ caucus chair says while the bill does not explicitly address that concern, she agrees it's something they need to revisit.
And we certainly are open and amenable to like having conversations about individuals to clear up any misconceptions or, you know, specify language or things of that nature.
LSU housing officials told us they are open to conversations to ensure student safety and well-being, but they do not believe any changes are needed at the moment.
So anytime a student has a accommodation that they'd like to ask for, all they need to do is reach out to our team.
And while the resolution has passed through student government and the Residential Housing Association, there are still more steps to go before any changes are actually put into place.
LSU wide receiver and former top 15 recruit John Emery Jr. is entering the transfer as a graduate student after 5 seasons with the LSU Tigers, including the 2019 National Championship season. The Louisiana native took to social media and said, quote, "Man, I love LSU. Wish I didn't have to leave, but God got me." We will keep you updated with more information on our socials.
And if you missed LSU gymnastics at the Raising Cane's mothership this morning, don't worry, we've got you covered. LSU Gym took some time off from their national championship celebrations to work the registers at the Raising Cane on Highland Road today. Fans got to take pictures and get autographs from the champs, and the team got to show off some different skills. The gymnasts got to come up with funny catchphrases and even took some time to thank fans for supporting them all season long. And with the status of Haley Bryant's return to LSU still unknown, she made sure to remind fans they'll be the first to know of her return.
Honestly, I kind of want to take a little bit to celebrate this, but it's definitely something I'm thinking about now. It's something I tried not to think about the whole entire season. I really put it in the back of my mind because my full focus was on this team, but I really don't know. I wish I could give you a straight answer, but I don't know, but I'm just very excited for the future and what it has in store for me, and I'm just really excited to see what's next, but you guys will be the first people I tell, I promise.
And I don't know about you, Georgia, but that definitely made me hungry.
Oh, it made me hungry too. I had Cane's for dinner yesterday, but I might just have to get it again. That kind of convinced me. Speaking of hungry, coming up, we're highlighting one LSU student who is the science behind your favorite sweet treat.
We're Tiger TV, LSU's student-run broadcast news station.
We're bringing you 4 newscasts a week, covering all things LSU.
Our news team is covering all the stories you need to know from LSU's campus and the Baton Rouge community.
And our sports team has you covered on the Tigers from the field to the court.
Tiger TV, sports, news, you.
Watch us on WBRZ 2+, Channel 11 at 11:10.
A shortage during COVID led to an LSU student turning her science studies into something delicious. I found out how science and chocolate come together to grow a flourishing small business. Maram Halab is pipetting dilutions to measure growth rates of organic food components for her food microlab. But these experiments are not just for her class assignments.
So my mom loves chocolate so much to the point where during COVID she ran out of her stash. She just started watching videos and she was like, "Come on, Maram, look at this, look at that, look how they make the chocolate." And eventually she started getting into it, and then when I saw her, she really liked it a lot. I was also getting into it as well.
From there, Maram began sharing these chocolates with her friends, who then encouraged her to open a business called Chocolate Bijou with the help of her mom. I was like, you know what, let me start a business and do it like me and her together. That way, like, she can fill out where I can't do, and I can do the vice versa. She runs the business with her mother, making around 100 to 200 chocolates every 1 to 2 days. Yeah, like there's no way I could run this without her. From the lab to the kitchen, Maram has honed her skills in each facet of her life. And I realized there's a lot of mesh between like lab work and like the actual chocolate making. Is very precise, both like there's different steps. Maram says her passion is worth more than any profit. I think our culture, we're really generous people, like from our culture, so bringing that with the merging of like starting a business, I mean, like
At first, every time somebody bought something, I was always giving them a free sample as well. And up until now, almost everything that we're making is going straight back into the business.
What started as a COVID hobby is now like a full-time job from Ram, and she hopes to dedicate more time to growing her business after she graduates. If you're interested in ordering from Chocolate Bijou, you can visit their website at chocolatebijou.com.
Have you ever been walking around North Campus and wondered where all that music was coming from? Well, reporter Cameron Sherry has more on the symphony behind the sound.
Welcome to the LSU Symphony Orchestra. Composed of both music and non-music majors, as well as undergraduate and graduate students, this group works together to perform complex pieces. These students learn at an elevated level and are given opportunities to work with world-renowned artists. Some graduate students are even given the chance to conduct.
So there are many opportunities for people to participate in orchestras here, which is one of the things I really wanted. I didn't want it to just be a School of Music event.
Director of Orchestral Studies Scott Terrell has been working with the orchestra since 2021 and strives to take the program and its students to the next level. Terrell, who has worked in both music education and professional music programs, helps students gain the experience they need to guide their career through the orchestra. Those who audition for and earn a spot in the coveted orchestra rehearse twice a week as a whole group.
That's the fun part when we get into the rehearsal, and I get to do less and watch them kind of do more.
Orchestra students give it their all during rehearsals and even more on stage. Terrell shares that watching students grow through these lessons and opportunities is the best part of his job.
That sort of excitement is hard to capture unless you're in it. And I think that's what gets me kind of excited each day that I come here, is that for a lot of our students, the discovery is always.
You can buy tickets to see the LSU Symphony Orchestra this Friday at the Student Union Theater. For Tiger TV, I'm Cameron Sherry.
And the LSU Orchestra will give their final performance of the semester at the Student Union this Friday at 7:30 p.m. and you don't want to miss it. And coming up, it's the most stressful time of year, but Peyton Manuel may have the cure for your finals blues. Find out more after the break.
We're Tiger TV, LSU's student-run broadcast news station.
We're bringing you 4 newscasts a week, covering all things LSU.
Our news team is covering all the stories you need to know from LSU's campus and the Baton Rouge community.
And our sports team has you covered on the Tigers from the field to the court.
Tiger TV, sports, news, you.
Watch us on WBRZ 2+, Channel 11 at 11:10.
College can be a place to make new friends, but what about furry friends? Reporter Peyton Manuel is live from the parade grounds along with a very special guest. Peyton?
That's right, guys. I'm here with my new furry friend, and in just 3 days behind me, this place will be filled with more furry friends just like him. Puppies on the Parade Grounds is making its way to LSU on April 26 from 12 to 2 p.m. The goal is to give students a break to meet some pups and spread the word that owning a pet can improve a college student's mental health. The event is sponsored by Companion Animal Alliance, also known as CAA, and LSU students from the Bayou Communications capstone class. Students can look forward to meet and play with a range of different puppies, along with learning about adoption information. Volunteer options will also be available for students at the event if they're interested in helping out.
I think it would be a great idea for students to start getting involved with CAA because not only will it bring so much more joy to these animals, but it will be a great stress reliever to the students who are about to.
CAA cares for more than 9,000 animals each year, so if students are looking for pet options or adoption information, this is definitely the time to do it. Reporting for Tiger TV, Peyton Manuel.
That was precious, but that is actually all the time we have for tonight's Newsbeat. To stay up to date with all things LSU news and sports, check out us at LSU Tiger TV. I'm Erin Rogers.
And I'm Georgia Peck. Have a great night, Tigers.